Let's locate the bones. First one, skull. This whole area here. Next one, mandible. The jaw. Next one, clavicle. Right here. Sternum. Right here. Humerus. This long bone right here. Xiphoid process. This little notch at the end of the sternum. Ribs. All right here. Lumbar vertebrae. 1 through 5 here. Radius. Right here. Pelvis. This whole area here. Ulna. Right here. Sacrum. Right here. Carpals. Right here. And there's metacarpals and phalanges. Next portion. Femur. Longest bone. Patella. Your kneecap. Tibia. The bigger bone here. Fibula. Posterior more. Tarsals. Metatarsals. And phalanges. Now I will give you some time to practice on your own. Let's locate the posterior bones. Skull, right here. Mandible, but it's mostly anterior. Cervical vertebrae, 1 through 7. Clavicle, it's mostly anterior. Scapula. Ribs, all these areas. Thoracic vertebrae, all right here, 1 through 12. Humerus, right here. Lumbar vertebrae, 1 through 5. Radius, right here. Ulna, right here. Pelvis, this whole area. Carpals, right here. Metacarpals. And then phalanges, your fingers. Sacrum, right here. Coccyx, your tailbone. Femur. Tibia. Fibula is the smaller one here. Calcaneus, that's your heel. Tarsals. Metatarsals. And phalanges. Let me give you some time to practice on your own. Let's go over the bony landmarks of the body. First one, zygomatic bone, right here. This little notch. Clavicle, right here. Sternal notch, right here. Coracoid process of the scapula, right here. Sternum, this whole area. Xiphoid process. Ribs. Lateral epicondyle of the humerus, right here. Medial epicondyle of the humerus, right here. The head of the radius, right here. Pisiform, right here. Iliac crest, right around here. Anterior superior iliac spine, right here. Pubis symphysis, right here. Greater trochanter of the femur, right here. Medial epicondyle of the femur, right here. Lateral epicondyle of the femur, right here. Patella. Head of the fibula, right here. Tuberosity of the tibia, right here. Anterior shaft of the tibia, right here. Medial malleolus, right here. And lateral malleolus, right here. Let me give you a little time so you can practice on your own. Posterior bony landmarks. First one, mastoid process of the temporal bone, right here. C7 process. This is the one you can feel more in the neck. Enchromium process of the scapula, right here. Spine of the scapula, right here. Axillary border of the scapula, right here. Vertebral border of the scapula, right here. Inferior angle of scapula, right here. Superior angle of scapula, right here. Lateral epicondyle of the humerus, right here. Medial epicondyle of the humerus, right here. Olecranon process of the ulna, your elbow. Medial epicondyle of the humerus, right here. Posterior border of the ulna, right here. Styloid process of the radius. Styloid process of the ulna. Carpals. Metacarpals. Phalanges. Iliac crest, right here. Sacrum, right here. Posterior, superior, iliac spine, right here. Ischial tuberosity, right here. Greater trochanter of the femur, right here. Medial epicondyle of the femur, right here. Lateral epicondyle of the femur, right here. Head of the fibula. Lateral malleolus. Medial malleolus. And calcaneus, your heel. Now I will give you some time. You can practice on your own. Skull anterior bony landmarks. frontal, parietal, temporal, nasal, orbit, nasal aperture, zygomatic bone, maxilla, and finally mandible. I'll give you some time. You can look this over, and then you can practice yourself. Skull, lateral, bony landmarks. First one, sagittal suture, parietal bone, right here, temporal bone, occipital bone, external occipital protuberance, right here, mastoid process, styloid process, mandible, maxilla, zygomatic bone, nasal bone, and sphenoid bone. Give you some time to look at this, and I'll give you some time to practice. Anterior right scapula, bony landmarks. First one, acromion, right here. Coracoid process, right in this region. Infraglenoid tubercle, right here. Axillary border, right here. Superior angle of the scapula, right here. Scapular notch, right here. Subscapular fossa, all in this region. Vertebral border, along here. And inferior angle, right here. Now I'll give you some time. You can practice on your own. Posterior left scapula, bony landmarks. First one, acromion, right here. Supraspinatus fossa, right in this groove. Spine of scapula, all along here. Root of spine, right in this region. Infraglenoid tubercle, right here. Vertebral border, over here. Axillary border, right in here. Infraspinatus fossa scapula, in this region. Inferior angulus scapula, lower portion here. Now I'll give you some time. You can practice on your own. Anterior right humerus, bony landmarks. First one, greater tubercle, head, lesser tubercle, anatomical neck, surgical neck, bicipital groove, deltoid tuberosity, lateral supracondylar ridge right here, medial supracondylar ridge right here, radial fossa, lateral epicondyle, capitulum right here, coronoid fossa right here, medial epicondyle right in this region, trochlea right here. Now I'll give you some time, you can look it over. Now test yourself. Posterior left humerus bony landmarks. First one, head, greater tubercle, anatomical neck, surgical neck, deltoid tuberosity, groove of radial nerve, lateral supracondylar ridge right here, medial epicondyle, olecranon fossa, elbow region, lateral epicondyle. Now I'll give you some time. You can practice on your own. Anterior right radius and ulna bony landmarks. Coronoid process of the ulna right here. Olecranon process, posterior more. Trochanterar notch. Radial notch of the radius. Supinator crest. Tuberosity of the ulna. Tuberosity of the radius, head of radius, neck of radius, interosseous border of the radius, interosseous border of the ulna, anterior oblique line, styloid process of the radius, styloid process of the ulna, and head of ulna. Give you some time to look at this, and then practice on your own. Posterior left radius and ulna. First one, coronoid process, the radius, radial notch right here, head of radius, neck of radius, interosseous border right here, olecranon process, the ulna, tuberosity of the radius right here, posterior oblique line right here, interosseous border of the radius right here. Let's go to the lower portion. Styloid process of the radius right here, dorsal tubercle right here, and styloid process of the ulna right in this region. I'll give you some time to look at this, and then you can test yourself. Palmar, anterior right hand. First one, distal phalanges. All these. Middle phalanges. All these. And proximal phalanges. These. Shaft of the metatarsals, 1 through 5, or the center region. The head of the phalanges, right here. The shaft, again, more the center area. The base, the lower portion. Head of the metacarpals, all these areas. Base of the metacarpals, all these areas. Hamate, right here. Pisiform, tricutum, right here. Scapoid, right here. Lunate, right here. Trapezium, right here. Trapezoid, right in this area. Capitate, this larger area here. So you can look over this quick, and I'll give you some time to practice on your own. Anterior pelvis bony landmarks. First one, anterior superior iliac spine, right here. ASIS, some people for the initials. Iliac fossa, right in here. Greater sciatic notch, right here. Ischial spine, right in this region. Lesser sciatic notch down here. So remember, greater up here, lesser down here. Pubic crest, right here. Body of pubis, right here. Pubic symphysis, right in this area. Inferior ramus of pubis, right in this lower portion here. Okay, here, iliac crest. It's this area right here. Lumbar 5 vertebrae. Sacrum, all this area here. Anterior inferior iliac spine. AIIS, so right here. So you remember, anterior superior iliac spine is up here, but anterior inferior iliac spine is right here. Then superior ramus of pubis, so right here. Remember, inferior ramus of pubis is right here. Then coccyx, aka tailbone. Then ramus of ischium, right here. Then ischial tuberosity, lowest portion, right here. I'll give you some time. You can practice on your own. posterior pelvis bony landmarks. So this is the posterior side of the pelvis. This is the iliac crest. Posterior superior iliac spine, right in this region. Posterior inferior iliac spine, right here. Sacrum, this whole area right here. The coccyx, some people call it the tailbone, right here the tip. Inferior ramus of the pubis, right here. Lumbar 5, lowest lumbar. Superior gluteal line, right in this area. Middle gluteal line, right here. Inferior gluteal line, right here. Greater sciatic notch. Ischial spine, right in this region. Lesser sciatic notch, right here. Ramus of ischium, right here. And ischial tuberosity, right in this area. Now I'll give you some time, practice on your own. Anterior right femur bony landmarks. First one, greater trochanter, head, neck, intertrochantic line, right here. Lesser trochanter, lateral epicondyle, patella, patellar surface, adductor tubercle, and medial epicondyle. Now I'll give you some time. You can practice on your own. Posterior left femur, bony landmarks. Head of the femur, neck, intertrochantic crete, lesser trochanter, trochantic fossa, greater trochanter, quadrate tubercle, gluteal tuberosity, lateral supracondylar line, lateral epicondyle, lateral condyle, medial supracondylar line, popliteal surface, adductor tubercle, medial epicondyle, intercondylar notch, right here, and medial condyle. Now I'll give you some time. You can practice on your own. Anterior right tibia and fibula, bony landmarks. Lateral condyle, styloid process, head of fibula, neck of fibula, medial condyle, tibial tuberosity, shaft of tibia, shaft of fibula, lateral malleolus, medial malleolus. So I'll give you some time to look at this, then practice on your own. Posterior left tibia and fibula, bony landmarks. Lateral condyle, right here. Styloid process, head of tibia, neck of fibula, medial condyle, soleal line, shaft of tibia, shaft of fibula, medial malleolus, lateral malleolus, and calcaneus, the heel bone. So I'll give you some time to look at this over, then practice on your own. Right plantar foot, bony landmarks. First one, distal phalanges, all these. Middle phalanges, right here. Proximal phalanges, all these. Fifth metatarsal, fourth metatarsal, third metatarsal, second metatarsal, first metatarsal. First cuneiform, second cuneiform, third cuneiform, cuboid, talus, navicular, right here, calcaneus, also known as your heel, fibula, and tibia. Now I'll give you some time. You can practice on your own.